So I once worked someplace and they had overtime available. And this place was really very keen on forcing volunteer overtime. They pretty much made it mandatory. They frowned on you if you didn't work it. And I didn't work it because after 5 days a week, and I know everyone watching has their own stories, and some people love overtime, and hey, kudos to you, God bless you, you're more entitled to it. I always saw it as something that was a either or type of situation. You love overtime, or you see it as an invasion on your free time. And that's how I saw it. Like, I'm already here 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, 8.5 because they didn't pay us for lunch. So actually they're 8.5 plus the drive to and from. You're really getting close into 10 hours that you're doing something you really don't necessarily want to be doing to begin with, but you're doing it for the paycheck. And I've already talked about doing things for the paycheck. You check out that video somewhere. I may just throw a link up here somewhere to link you to that video if I can find it. The point being, though, they would go through and ask everyone, you want to work overtime? You want to work overtime? Yes, 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 yes. Come to me? No. Never. Why? And I had a couple of people ask me that because they felt, we were on speaking terms, we were work friends. Why don't I ever work overtime? For me, working overtime always felt like I was asking for trouble. Like Monday to Friday, you're there. And I say Monday to Friday, but you know what I mean, the work week. So if you work Sunday to Thursday or Tuesday to Saturday or whatever your work week is, you get the point, 5 days a week. You're there to do your shift or whatever hours you happen to have. You're there. So you're like, okay, I'm working, I'm getting paid, I have to be here. So anything bad that happens is like, at least I can look forward to my days off, and I don't have to put up with that. Like if something bad happens to you on a Wednesday, you're like, fuck, I'm at work anyways. Of course the bad shit's gonna happen, right? I had no choice but to be here. I gotta work. Okay. But your day's off. When you're working overtime and something bad happens, for me it always felt like if I hadn't said yes to working overtime, I wouldn't be here. And if I wasn't here, I wouldn't be experiencing whatever bullshit just blew up in my face. So by working overtime, I've agreed to accept whatever bullshit happens. Not only am I agreeing to accept it, I'm also asking for it. Because if I hadn't agreed to work overtime, I wouldn't be here. So for me, that's how it always felt. I know a lot of people would say, well, Shane, you know what? It's some extra money. Who couldn't use extra money? Overtime is not extra money. I've also known people that work so much overtime it put them in a higher tax bracket when they got paid. So they took out more tax money out of them. So all that overtime they worked did bump their check up a little bit, but then they got taxed back down to where they really didn't get as much money as they were hoping they were going to get for working all that overtime. So that was something to consider too. For me, money as a motivation was never really there because I saw it as extra work. You're getting paid for it, but it's extra work too. Extra money is simply this. Shane, could you use an extra 100 today? Yeah. There you go, dude. That's extra money. If you're telling me to come in on my day off, it's not extra money. You're just paying me to sacrifice one of my days off. And my time off is precious to me because that's when I try to cram in everything I need to do. A lot of my former employers didn't quite understand that, I don't think. And, hey, that's fine. That's their baggage, I guess. That's their deal. So, yeah, a lot of my former employers never seemed to really understand that. I was doing them a favor by not coming in on my days off to work overtime.